The dilemma of gender-based violence, GBV, is that it is the most pervasive human rights violation in the world and the most invisible. It affects people everywhere and it transcends race, class, sex, nationality and religion. At least 1 in 3 women and girls affected, likely more, as this figure does not include sexual harassment, and less than 40% of women who experience violence seek help. Well, in Malawi, the situation has not been different.
The issue of gender-based violence in Malawi is a serious problem because out of every 100 people, 60 of them experienced violence in their lifetime before the age of 18. And of those who are married, 40% have been abused by their partner, intimate partner. And when you look across the whole board, 50% of every woman has been sexually abused, physically abused. And when we split, you find 1 out of every 3 girls have had sexual abuse. But what is interesting for me, you still find that 1 out of 5 boys have also been abused sexually. The abuser may be an older woman or an older man. So the message I'm putting across is the battle on violence or gender-based violence cannot be won if men are not there.
In order to answer and provide support to organizations working in the sector of human rights and leaning towards women and girls' rights, the Spotlight Initiative, under the auspices of United Nations and European Union, in 2019 launched the single largest investment in ending violence against women and girls. The campaign also aimed at contributing to the achievement of SDG 5 on gender equality. In Malawi, Spotlight has established a network of committed people, women and men, young and old, who want to put an end to gender-based violence, taking determined action from all sides. One of the important partners of Spotlight Initiative is the Malawi Human Rights Resource Center. Mzimba district is situated in the northern region of Malawi. The most common occupations are subsistence farming of maize and beans, supplemented by cattle herding, in addition to tobacco growing as a cash crop. The district is predominantly patrilineal, and this at times is misconstrued as an instrument for gender dominance, hence imparting on gender roles and equality within the family and gender-based violence.
We've been meeting women from various groups. These various groups are not just identified today. We're coming from a history where we started by engaging wives to the traditional authorities in Mzimba called Amakhosi. But at the same time, that time we are also meeting the traditional authorities, Amakhosi from Mzimba, as led by Amakhosi Mbero 5.
Nkosikazi Mabilao says the journey with Spotlight has been an enriching and exciting one. She says through various interface sessions with different stakeholders, most of the Amakhosi who are spouses to the traditional authorities have developed special advocacy skills, more especially when it comes to women and girls' rights.
Thereafter, they followed us in our TAs, where they also had an advocacy on gender-based violence. They also taught us the Land Act Bill and how can we inherit property from our husbands when they are dead. And they also taught us how can we be good readers. And how can we do a successful advocacy.
Members of youth forums have been part of this advocacy training seminar. Gertrude Kaunda is a member of Mzimba Heritage Youth Forum. She expresses her gratitude to Human Rights Resource Center through Spotlight for this initiative because for a long time now, such initiatives have focused on men and boys who at times fail to display positive behavioral change.
We have learned a lot because at first we were just staying here in Mzimba as normal without knowing that there is some abuses which happen to mothers and young women. So through Spotlight, we have learned a lot because some parents that are just receiving maybe maloro from someone in South Africa because of poverty. And that guy is coming here to get you, to marry, maybe I can say to marry you. So you are just getting married by force because we didn't know that it's like an abuse.
One of the important areas that has been emphasized throughout the implementation of the program in the area is psychosocial support to women and girls who have been traumatized through gender-based violence incidents. Grace Banda is a mental health psychosocial support provider who at this material day was teaching steps that these women leaders can take to help gender-based violence survivors.
I've been training the women movement in psychosocial support. We want them to know what psychosocial support is all about, and we also want to know that because they'll be helping the survivors of gender-based violence, both the adult and children. So at least we want them to know the implication of gender-based violence, and when one is violated or is abused, how that person feels, because gender-based violence has negative implications, and most of the women and children survivors, they are depressed, stressed, and because of that, they're not able to participate in anything. They lose focus, they lose concentration, lack of appetite. So they show these symptoms. So we wanted them to see what are the consequences of gender-based violence, and also the signs and symptoms that one portrays when he's totally distressed or abused or depressed. So we want them at least to support those survivors, and in their support to be able to recover, because we want the survivors to recover from the shock, to recover from the pain, to recover from depression. So we've been giving them the skills on how they can support these survivors.
There has also been an improvement in accessing services at community victim support units, which are offering much-needed assistance to adult and child survivors of crimes, especially gender-based violence and child abuse, exploitation and neglect.